philosophy. First, a primordial assertion, we already spoke about that, the dignity of man. That is, it is, I will say, the first principle, the dignity of man. Man is superior to the rest of the world. All the galaxies, everything is inferior to man. Remember Psalm 8, you made man like a God, almost like a God. Imagine we are intelligent. The sun is not intelligent. We can talk, we can reflect. The sun cannot reflect. The dignity of man. And John Paul II fought so much for that. So Christian anthropology, we affirm that man is an image of God, but philosophical anthropology, philosophy of man. Man is a rational animal, a subject of duty and right. Man is a person. God is a person. Personal God, personal man. Your car, no, you don't have a car, but your cat is not a personal cat. Of course, personal because it is your belonging. Cat can belong to you, but you cannot belong to your cat, I hope. Sometimes they ask the question. The role of philosophy and the dialogue of faith and reason. Here I refer to document of John Paul II, Faith and Reason. To show the coherency between the data of faith, revelation, and the principle of right reason, humanetics, which regulates social, political, economic life. That is important. Social ethics regulates social life, political life, economic life. Of course, capitalists don't like that. It is not your business, you ethician, to put your nose in our money. Wall Street has nothing to do with social ethics. That is the affirmation of capitalism. General ethics, which with virtues of prudence and justice, is the foundation of social ethics. Normally, we should study general ethics. After that, we apply that to society. But it's not absolutely necessary. In the past, the motor of the car was in front, but sometimes the motor is behind. And the car functions. A little car, the German car, do you see that? The bug, huh?
Yeah, Volkswagen.
Philosophical reflection must lead to the student to deepen some concept in the light of ultimate causes. Ultimate causes is metaphysics. We search for the ultimate causes, not only for the human person itself, but as a social animal, as a social reality. So the role of philosophy is to search for the ultimate causes of society. And that, at the end, we arrive to eternal law, at the end. Social ethics is linked with philosophy of man, the conception of the human person, freedom, knowledge. We saw that just before in the quotation. Metaphysics, it is the capacity of attaining the truth, the one, the good. General ethics, we study natural law, right and duties. In any way, we have a chapter on right and duties. Because we cannot study social ethics without studying right and duties. Especially prudence and justice are very essential. Philosophy of God, the ultimate end of society. Okay. So social ethics is a kind of application to social life to all the problems studied in philosophy. In fact, most of the time, social ethics is the last part of philosophy. The last treaty of philosophy is social ethics. Because to work in social ethics, we use all what happened before, what we learned before. Okay? Chapter 4 in that book here is about the criteria for judgment. So to know, to analyze in order to judge and to act. So we have to form our judgment, our knowledge, and after that we have to act according to our knowledge. So the social literature offers criteria, and those criteria will be on number 51, just after. for judging situation. That is the role of the church. They give you some criteria. One of them is the dignity of man. For organizing economic, so the teaching of the church is not purely theoretical. The teaching of the church is practical. And that is not very interesting for capitalists, especially in communists. Is the reason why when John Paul II, when John the 23rd, when Paul VI wrote encyclical, the answer of many was, mind your business. You, the Pope, stay in your sacristy. And we stay in Wall Street. They don't want, they are not at ease with that. Okay? So, the condition to judge, to have a knowledge about local, national, international, we speak about international, historical situation and the cultural dignity of every community and people. So here, the condition to judge, to know sociology, to know history, to know anthropology, philosophy of man, for example. And the norm of judgment, the fundamental values are the norm of judgment. And those fundamental values, first on the human person. And the human person in all his parts, body and soul, and also in all his relations. Relation with others, relation with material thing, property, relation with the other, with the capital O, God. Because even in social issue is the freedom of religion. And it is one of the last thing the Pope spoke about that, Benedict XVI, the freedom of religion. Because you know the church is persecuted in many places in the world. So number 50, the text insists on the danger of ideological influence. Two ideological influences are Marxist analysis and liberal ideology, or if you want, capitalistic ideology. So we studied both of them. I will spend about 3 classes on capitalism, 3 classes on communism, because they are the world in which we live, no? Possibility of a new alternative, and after we try to find a third way, and that third way is personalism, especially inspired by Emmanuel Bouillet and Buber, and it is also called the third way of subsidiarity. Subsidiarity, we speak about that. Subsidiarity. The state must not do what inferior instances can do. You know? So number 51, discernment of choices. No liberal utopia, no socialist utopia, but opting for a humanizing model of socio-economic relation, which are in harmony with a scale of values which are truth, caritas in veritate. You remember that the encyclical of Benedict XVI, caritas, love, charity, in veritate, in truth. There is no love in lie. To love someone really, we must be true with that person. Responsibility, solidarity, peace, implying the primacy of man over thing, the primacy of work over capital. The most important is not the capital, it's the worker. Because there is no worker, there is no capital without worker. You know, the discussion now about the taxing the rich is here. Is here. The primacy of the work over capital. Is work to create capital, or is capital to make men work? No? Common good over personal interest and property. All those questions we'll discuss about that. Huh? Labor over capital. Now chapter 5, the text here gives you the directive of the church about social action. I read that very rapidly. First, Respect for the dignity of the human person. Respect and fostering all personal and social rights inherent in his nature as a human animal, rational animal. Secondly, respectful dialogue and suitable method for finding a solution to the problem. We must be used to dialogue. 3, struggle for justice and social solidarity. So justice is the form of all social activity. You know what is the form? Form and matter, remember that? And the form of all the social activity is justice. When there is no justice, there is no real social life. Social life is dead or is sick. 4, formation is the necessary area of perspective, here specialization. The church needs expert. You should become expert in social. Yes, we need that. We need priests, we need lay people committed to the study of those problems. 5, the experience of temporal reality and experience of faith. 6, openness to the gift of the Spirit. 7, practicing love and mercy, priority for the poor. That is the message of Vatican II. The rich, says St. John Chrysostom, are the bursar of the poor. We speak about that. Link between social doctrine and Christian practice. Christian praxis. To do more than to reflect and to speak. We must not only discuss, we must like to do something. Discussion should be 1 hour, and practice should be many weeks. Yes, no? So when we study, it is to apply. What we study, and to apply to your whole life. You will be an old priest, an old man, an old sister in your monastery. You continue to apply social justice, you learn, yes. It's true. Repercussion for political area. That is always delicate. It is a duty, Gaudium and Spicy, it is a duty for lay Catholic to commit to political activities. We must not live in our ivory tower. You say, politics is dirty, is corruption. No, I am a holy man, I stay in my ivory tower. No. The church said, no. You have to commit to politics. That's Gaudium and Spice. I admire Catholics who commit to politics. They are very courageous. To fight for justice, to fight corruption, to fight for the poor. During the last election, how many times did you listen to the word poor in the speech? Almost never. I think maybe 1 or 2 times I listened to that during 2 or 3 years of electoral campaign. It's very important. No? We speak about that. No? And chapter 6. You know, there is a chapter for the teacher. I keep that for myself. So I skip that, okay? For the student. Pastoral instruction. In fact, your pastoral formation must be also social formation. Is a part of integral formation. So the social doctrine must be a part of the curriculum in pastoral formation. And here in the seminary we have 2 classes, 2 courses of social, in philosophy and 1 in theology. And you have a sociology of American church, American society, something like that. What is lacking is a class of sociology. I will push on that. I will see Mr. Nedal and say, put that in the curriculum. 72. The student's interest in and sensitivity about church's social doctrine in pastoral care must be aroused. So that means you should, at the end of that class, be quite different when we enter. You should be enthusiastic, enthused for the Catholic Church, for the teaching of the Catholic Church, and to be proud to be a Catholic, because we are almost alone in the world to fight for that. With communists. Because communists, they pretend, but unfortunately, at the end, when they have the power, they keep that in their pocket. Because the Communist Party become Like in China, the one who takes benefit, like in Russia, the same. Huh? Okay? The millionaire in Russia was the former member of the Communist Party. Putin was an ex-member of the KGB, you know. Okay. 72. The code, canonical, speak about the need to educate future priests to dialogue with persons and to sensitize the social tasks that await the church. 73. It is enough to deal with in some optional lesson with philosophy and theology courses. Required and elective courses on discipline must be included in the program. It is absolutely necessary for knowledge about moral, social, and cyclical. Important to know at least the more major social and cyclical. I will indicate which one. Okay? A priest must know and read the major encyclical. A Catholic must know that, read that. And that book here was made especially to help priests to work with their parishioner to study the teaching of the church. With workers, with businessmen. We have some organization in many dioceses. Breakfast for businessmen, prayer breakfast for businessmen. So you can take one subject here and discuss. You cannot do everything, but you can choose a part and work on that. The encyclical must be the subject of special courses and represent require reading material. At least read the summary in our best kept secret. At least the minimum, the minimum. And the necessity of knowing human science. The human sciences, in fact, are important instruments. Okay? I go to 76. Pastoral experiences. In direct contact with problem study. So when you have field education, it's an opportunity to discover the real problem, social problem. The importance of reading also the American bishops. Because your bishop wrote good texts, but they are unknown. We should print a book and entitle the book The Unknown Marvelous Letter of American Bishop. They are not unknown. Who read the text of your bishop here? 1, 2, 2 on 23. Do you know they wrote a letter about social justice? We ignore that. Huh? Okay. At what time we finish? 15. Yes. I have 5 minutes. You enjoy me? 4 minutes. Yes. 3 minutes? Okay. 70. Okay. Talks with the priest with regard to the laity. Because, especially for a seminarian, you have to prepare to form lay people for that. Because you cannot go in politics, but you have to form people to go in politics. Okay? In this perspective, the priest's task is to help the lay people, to form, to follow, to participate, to recognize, to give them a witness of a deep social sensitivity. You know, I know in my life some lay people in Canada, wonderful. They've consecrated their whole life for social justice. They were former Catholic, member of the Catholic youth. After that, they became member of Catholic worker, Catholic businessmen. And in fact, they went to, we asked 3 of them, we call the doves, the 3 doves, were members of Catholic Action. They become one the Prime Minister, second the Minister of Finance, and the other Minister of Work. And they asked him, why you, Catholic, you commit to social justice? When we want to change the situation, you must use the lever. You must use the way, the tool. And the tool in a country is politics. We should have more Catholic committed to politics. So prepare to be maybe you is too late. But the young man here, and they will see you at the Senate, or he will see you at the representative. Why not? It is the duty of Catholic to commit to social justice. And unfortunately, I don't have time, but I engage you to read the text of Father William. It's excellent, excellent text I give you from Zenith. 2011, The Changing Face of Catholic Thought. I thought I will have time to explain that, unfortunately, but you can read that by yourself. You have that?
Where is it?
Yeah.
Right after page.
Just after. The Changing Face of Catholic Social Thought. Very interesting, I think. I want to find that very interesting. Okay, God bless. Bye.